All right, we're about to begin. All right. Let's make sure we got this going on. All right. Alright, so we'll start in about 1 minute. Let's make sure we got this going on. Alright. So we start in about 1 minute. Alright. You see, I'm trying to figure something out, and it's always trying to figure out this new technology. I say it like I'm old, but alright. So we got this going on. I'm trying to figure something out, and it's always trying to figure out this new technology. I say it like I'm old. Okay. So that's not necessary. All right, my friends, here we are, 6 o'clock, slightly after. If you haven't seen yesterday's show, this week's theme is, are you a wife, traditional woman, or a slave queen? You see, when I talk about a slave queen, it's basically the same thing as an IG model. But everybody wants to be one thing, but have the outcome of another. And in life, we have to understand what we do and what we choose to be, more so than not, decides our outcome. So, with that, some may say, well, what's the difference? Well, traditional wife or traditional woman, they don't date, they get courted. A slave queen dates. Some people date just to date. They say a terminology that's used is dating with a purpose. There's no real reason, I won't say there's a such thing as dating with a purpose. You're even being courted or you're dating, and some way, somehow, dating can lead to marriage. But it's not very often that it does, because knowing when two people go into a relationship, these things are not really discussed on a deeper level. And that's what leads to a lot of misunderstanding or not knowing what this person is in it for. So then we find ourselves wasted 2, 3, 4, 5 years of our lives, all for what? To get back on the market and start all over again. And this is where this platform is a little bit different, where our main focus is marriage. You could call it serious relationship. Serious relationships should only last about three months to 6 months. Then you're preparing for your marriage because you're a fiancé now. So all this thing about serious relationships, it's just a waste of time. We gotta learn how to use our time wisely. And that's why this is all about linking up together building families, building homes, building wealth. And another thing, a lot of people don't seem to understand. When you have a two-parent home, man and woman, you can build wealth a lot easier than you can do on your own. So all this about, hey, I'm just going to take my time and get to where I want to be in life, that's what most men do. Most women, unfortunately, do not have the privilege to do that because men and women are not made the same. So we have different routes and paths in life that we have to take. Most men spend their 20s figuring out who they are, their 30s putting together their business plan, their 40s executing that plan. Now, when ladies do that, they leave themselves empty from the dating market or the courting market, whichever one you want to call it. Because by the time they're at their successful stage financially, the market is overran with a lot of younger women. See, I believe that women, you spend your teens finding out who you are as a person, what it is that you desire in life. Your adult years should be spent with your husband. And that way, you become fitted for your husband. Women were fitted for man. Man wasn't fitted for women. And I know it turns some people off. They hear it this way. But in reality, it's just what it is. I think this is necessarily so much better. Okay. All right. I'm not sure if y'all caught me because I'm trying to figure this new software out that I wanted to give a try. So, as I said, again, we want to know, what are you? What do you consider yourself? Traditional wife, traditional woman, or slave queen, IG model? The one who wants to be seen glamorous. But what kind of outcome do these ladies get? 3 different types. 2 likely get the same outcome. The 3rd, not so much. But what do you desire? What is your heart's desire? I know some people will say, oh, God is going to give me my heart's desire. Honestly, if God gave us our heart's desires as people, oh man, we'd be really in a bad place. I can't tell you how many times that I wanted one thing and thought it was good for me, only to realize later down the line that it would have been tragic for me. So sometimes we have to be very appreciative for being forced to wait. And when we do that and we become more patient, we normally get a better outcome than what we would have went into on our own in the first place. So this is true with pretty much everything in life. It's best to wait, but I don't mean wait 10 years. It's best to wait, but get yourself together while you wait. It makes no sense to wait around, continue to do the same thing, continue to get the wrong outcome that you want and not change a thing. I remember I first heard Joe Banner, ex-football president of the Philadelphia Eagles, say, insanity, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, but expecting a different result. Are you doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result? It's not how life works. When we want a different outcome, we have to make changes within ourselves. What is the outcome that you desire? Most men and women desire the same outcome. This is 2022. It's not always that way anymore. Not everybody lives through a traditional perspective or have that theology that we had once long ago. So, do you know your place, what position, your title? We as men more than likely determine the title that a woman falls under. You could believe that you're one thing, but by definition, if it doesn't hold up, then that's not what you are. So that's why it's imperative that we discuss these things. Everyone wants to know where they stand, especially with the opposite sex. So, do you know where you stand with the opposite sex? Or is it that you base where you stand at solely by your friends and family? See, the thing about friends and family, for the most part, they're going to tell you what you either want to hear or not really tell you the truth in order not to hurt your feelings. It's like, you remember Paul Washer said it before. I'm not going to give the whole rundown how he put it, but basically he talked about his mother who died of cancer. But he said while she was going for cancer treatment, even before that, when she was first diagnosed, because the doctor had diagnosed her with a serious condition, she was able to get help and treatment to extend her years. But if that doctor had never told her that she had cancer to begin with, because he knew that it would hurt her feelings, and yes, being diagnosed with cancer crushed her, ruined her day, made her feel horrible. But by that doctor giving her the absolute truth, she was allowed to extend her years and live beyond what would have been if he had not. So, we all need a doctor. Sometimes that could be our spouse. But what if you don't have a spouse? Who's your doctor? It's not going to be a pastor. Most times it's not even your father. Your daddy's little girl. Daddy don't want to hurt you. Daddy want to make sure his little girl feel good about herself, no matter what the situation is. But that is not helping. What helps is knowing the truth by being told the truth so that you can get the outcome that you desire in life. And it's only one way to get that, knowing where you stand with the opposite sex. So where do you stand? Let's talk about it. As always, take a 30-second break, give people time to get on who's going to be on. And you want to get on the show, send your request in. Alright, so now that I know that my first stream didn't go, I wasted about 15 minutes of talk time, but it's cool. So one stream ain't for me. So let's get into it though. Let's see what we got. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Name?
I'm good. How are you doing? My name is Faith.
What is it? Your name?
My name is Faith. Faith.
Say that? Faith. Okay, Faith.
Yes, ma'am.
Calling from Nigeria, huh? Right?
Calling from Nigeria.
Yeah. With the name Faith, most Faiths are in Nigeria, so I know that. So, what do you have on the subject? Which one are you? Are you the traditional woman, the traditional wife, or the slave queen?
You say
Which
what?
one are you? The traditional woman, wife, or the slave queen?
Okay. I think I think I'm
Which
one
one?
of them.
You could come on. You could tell us.
Is it possible to be all of them? To have qualities from the
You got to
three?
choose one. We men, it's not what y'all see, it's what we see as men. It's not
You
how
say
you
what?
see it that counts, it's how men see it.
I can't
You got
hear
to
you.
fix your phone.
Okay.
What you got in earphones? All right. Network issues again. This is the one dilemma when doing it with those overseas. You're always going to run into issues with the network. The network is like the spooky man. So we see we could get her back in here real quick. Hopefully she could get her network corrected and see how we go from there. So this is crazy. Now it's like my network. Come on, Faith. Get it right. Get it right. Are we there? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? We good? Okay, I can see you now. So what were you saying?
I'm here.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm waiting.
Is it possible to be
I'm trying to wait for your network to unfreeze.
the three?
Looks like your network is frozen. That's the Vodafone, the MTN. All right, see if we can
It's
try
breaking.
again because your network is really not working at all. We try to do what we can, but let's discuss it while we wait on Faith. Which outcome do the three get? Let's go through it. You have the three. Traditional wife, normally a virgin, who gets handed over to a man by a father. Have the girl here, have the man here. The man goes to father, say, hey, I'd like to take your daughter hand in marriage. He, in turn, decides yes or no. If he says yes, daughter says yes, then the wedding date is made. Boom. Wedding date come, honeymoon, they consummate the relationship through that of sexual relations. They're married and everything is whole. Traditional wife. That's how it happens with her. Now, traditional woman. Traditional woman raised from mom and dad. Normally siblings are in the house. Raised up from early age I would say anywhere from 6 to 10 begin to be shown by her mother and of course the father. Not necessarily both parents have to be around, but I'm just going with one on which is common. She gets taught at an early age how to be a wife to a man, how to fulfill her role as a wife. She goes out into the world, whether it's the workforce or whether it's university, college, wherever it is. She learned about relationships, realized that this is not the way that I'm supposed to be doing it. Says to myself, you know what? No longer am I dating. I'm just looking for guys who are ready to court me and to get married so I can build my home while I'm still young, have my babies while I'm still young, get to know my husband while I'm still young. She goes off, says yes to a man that comes along that says, I want to marry you after dating or courting for 3 months, 3 to 6 months. They make a date. 6 months to a year later, they marry, have beautiful kids, go live the dream life. Marriage ain't a dream, but there's many aspects to it that make it feel like a dream. So the fourth one, slay queen. One who spends her life seeking the attention of her friends, her peers, and the opposite sex. Spends so much time on this that by the time that she realized that her options are running low because of age, the type of men that she would have gotten when she was 20, she can no longer get when she's 30. So she procrastinates and says she's just going to wait on it. Wait until she get that right type of man that she feel that she deserves. And 40 comes. Then she realized by the age of 40, it's all over, and she did it all the wrong way. So they're the three outcomes that I say in general. There's always an exception to every rule in life, except death. Well, even that. But we're not going to get into that. All right, let's see if Faith got everything worked out.
Hello.
You there now?
Yes.
Yeah, you're having a lot of network issues. What's this, MTN or Vodafone?
What did you say?
Maybe, I don't know if you could do this without video, or maybe your network will
Hello.
be better if you could just do audio. Maybe you want to try doing it on audio if you can, because your network is not going to go through on video. All right. So while we wait for this and see, but it doesn't seem like her network is going to allow her to get through this. But what say you people? What say you? Come on now, I'm trying to do this. And I'll do it. No, I'm going to learn a whole lot of things. I'm up here pressing buttons like I know what I'm doing. All right. Anyway, so they're the three outcomes. I mean, we go into the career woman, but we should have started with that too. Also, career woman, because the slave queen and the career woman basically get the same outcome. So you got two traditional wife, traditional woman, basically get the same outcome. Then you got the slave queen and the career woman that get the same outcome. Now, what I could get from Faith, is she was asking me, can a woman be all three? Yeah, not really. Because a traditional wife is going to carry herself in a certain way. See, a slave queen desires the attention from all men. So she has to dress in a provocative fashion to get that from men, because that's what we men like. We're visual. We like that. We see that. So it would be impossible for, even if she's married, it still would be impossible for her to be considered a traditional woman, because a traditional woman has a certain character and a certain way that she carries herself. And the minute that we see her, we know, oh, wow, she's that type of woman. We get that. We understand that. So it's not about just being married. It goes deeper than that. So can you be all three? No, but you could choose one and you can get the outcome that you're going to get. See, this is why I say that everybody wants everything. Ladies today have been taught that they can have it all. They can have the benefits of a traditional wife, but still go out there and be a slave queen. That's why a lot of ladies wait so long on marriage, because they feel like unless they get everything on their list from start to finish, that the man is not good enough. But what happens, for the sake that they choose not to compromise any of their wants or desires and understand that we're living in a real world and it's not a fantasy, and there's no such thing as a fantasy guy, by that time, again, it's too late. So that's why when you're young, you have to understand what it is that you need versus what it is that you want. Repeat that. You have to know what it is that you need versus what it is that you want. In all likelihood, nobody gets everything that they want. It doesn't exist. But we get fed this fantasy from Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, whatever. We see what we see, and we get so a vision, a dream, that is not true, that is not so. That's why a lot of women today think that to get married to an average guy or just a decent guy is losing out, because they look to see what someone else has, and not knowing what someone else has is likely not even real half the time. So we got to get out of this mentality that if I don't have it all, then I have nothing at all. We're getting to a point that a lot of things are happening in the world, especially with war, being threatened. It will change the world. And if you're alone by yourself, it's just going to be that much harder for you to survive. Nobody wants to struggle. But if you don't want to struggle, you have to make choices that are going to put you in a position so that you won't. Nothing is guaranteed, I get that. But there's possibilities and probability. The probability of you struggling with a husband that you choose who you know who can provide is minimum compared to the probability that you will struggle without one. That's usually how the world works. Unless you go out and do something to make a gazillion bucks to last you throughout your lifetime and you don't mind being alone for the rest of your life, that's fine. But most ladies are not like that. Most ladies don't desire that. Most people want someone that they could live out through the rest of their years with and build a family with and pass everything down that they've built to their next generation of children. That's normally how it's supposed to work. Unfortunately, because of decisions that people are making today, that is not how it continues to work. Let's try Faith one more time. I know she's trying. Did you find a better spot? Faith.
Yes.
I was hoping that you found a better spot for your network, better signal.
I've tried.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna try to get through this with you. We do the best that we can. Um, you were asking me what now? Faith. She still got her network freezing. It's not on her, fellows. It's not on her. It's not her fault. So we try to get her on tomorrow and see what happens, but it's not her fault. So it's all right. It happens. Life happens. So let's continue, man. What are we going to do about this? Well, there are things that can be done. It's called the changing direction, the changing of the mind. How do we do that? We say to ourselves, okay, as I look at life and where I'm at today, what changes do I have to make in order to get from here to there, from step 1 to step 2, and then from step 2 to step 3? Decisions have to be made. With making those proper decisions comes sacrifice and compromise. That's what relationships are all about. That's what building together is all about, sacrifice and compromise. If you're willing to do that, then you have the right mentality. Now you just need the right direction so that you could be pointed into that direction and say, hey, in order to get to there, you said you're willing to make these changes. So these are the changes that you have to make. The sooner you start, the better. The sooner you start, the quicker you get your outcome. It's better to have someone ride with you through life than do it all alone. Ladies are not meant to do it all alone in this world. So that's why when you see these career women, by the time they're a certain age, they're so frustrated with life, so angry, can't tell them nothing. And it's not all. I'm just saying there's a large majority. Normally the ones who are able to pull through, get it together, go get a husband, they're the ones that you don't hear from because they're in their homes with their man and their family. It's the ones that you do hear from that are the loudest. And I always said this, the happiest people are the most silent people. The most miserable people are the loudest people. Happy normally stay silent. Miserable, normally the loudest. That's just how it is. So, you can move through life the way you desire. Everybody has that choice. But you don't have the choice of the outcome unless the direction you take in life equivalates to that. It's always been that way and it will always remain that way. These are things that cannot change. We are human beings. There are consequences in life. Just like if you put your hand to the fire, there's a consequence for that. If you commit a crime and go to jail, there's a consequence for that. If you do right, walk right, there's a consequence. Good outcome, an outcome is still a consequence. We call a consequence, we call an outcome, whatever it is. But there's a reaction to every action in life. And the actions that you take today will determine your outcome for the rest of your life. Things happen in life. We get it. As we said, nothing is guaranteed, but it's about possibility and probability. You want to go what is more probable for you to have the outcome that you desire in life. You don't want to go with the possibility. A possibility is this. You're going to live your life the way you're going to live it. You're going to waste your years dating many, many men. You turn 40 years old, then you go search for a husband, and someone will come along and be determined enough to marry you. That's a possibility. Unlikely, but it's still a possibility. But it's up to you. Do you want to really play those odds? Because life is like a game of poker. Do you want to play those odds? Is that the hand you want to play? You have to figure that out. But we could talk about it. Like I said, we're going to talk about it all week long. So today is Tuesday. We got to what? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We got 4 more days to go through this. So I hope you guys get engaged throughout the rest of the week as we get this started and get this off. And good thing is, got to promote, started with YouTube. So now it's just a matter of a marketing agent being able to go and do the keywords. So everything that I stated that we're going to be within a few days from last week, we're there. So we got it rocking. We're going to also focus on getting the show on the road as we do it live over in Nigeria and Ghana. And I'm going to put together a tour so that others can join us from my home country over to my second and my third home. Ghana is my second home. Nigeria is my third home. So they are the 3. I believe that every man should have 3 homes. 3 homes, either 3 different states or 3 different countries, however you want to mix it. But I believe every man should have 3 homes. So, with that said, we don't have anyone online today. Let's see. All right, since we don't have anyone online, we're going to end it here and see if we can pick up tomorrow on this subject again. Remember, are you a traditional wife, traditional woman, slave queen, or career woman? Which one are you? Make a choice. Let's talk about it. If you think you could be all 3 or all 4, great. Let's talk about it. So that's why we're here, to discuss it. All right, guys. I'm going to leave you here. And, let's see. All right, let's try Faith one more time before we cut off. Let's see if maybe she got it together. Let's see her back. No guys, so that's why I'm not sending any invites to you guys or whatever. Y'all go watch, but April, first week of April, I got y'all in here for a whole week. We're going to do a special, a nice one. But I want it to be nice, so let's get the numbers up. Make sure we subscribe to the YouTube, like and share it, and follow here on Instagram. And go to Facebook and like under Stephen D. Lyles or Stephen Dalo Lyles. All right? So what I'm going to do, we're going to see. You know what? I don't know what it is because I know her network is bad, but for whatever reason, mine's ain't perfect either. At least starting out. So as much as I might know that it's hers, it doesn't help when it's 2 of them. So, all right. Let's see. All right, so couldn't quite see. All right, so I think she's still trying to get on, if I'm not mistaken. All right, Faith tuned out, so she's having too many problems, but I'm going to definitely try to get her back on here tomorrow because Faith has something interesting. Even though she couldn't really get a word in because of her network breaking, like I said, the one thing I got from her is she said, "Can I be all 3?" And I really want to hear why she believes that she could be all 3: the traditional wife, traditional woman, and the slave queen. Hell, she might want to be all 4 and a career woman. So we won't know until we get her back on here. So that's how it's going to roll from here. So with that said, give it 30 more seconds. If we don't have any more requests, we're going to close this out until tomorrow night. Be right back. It's not hard. Just hope it don't start cutting my mouth. All right, everybody. So we're gonna cut out here and pick this up tomorrow night, so I can get to my business, tend to my business anyway. All right, guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow on Instagram, and go over to Facebook and give it a like. Like I said, let's get it started.